So, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Um, and here is the announcement. One of them I've been excited to announce. As you know, I worked tirelessly for the past 5 months putting Sunday's fundraiser together. We were able to raise just shy of $4,000.
Wow.
Oh,
Great.
wow, that's amazing.
That's wonderful.
That's great.
That was excellent, Jacob. Wow.
We counted up the checks Sunday night, and I've gone to fundraisers. I've never ran them, but for a first fundraiser, I was blown away.
Mhm.
Blown
Awesome.
away. And while we're on the topic of the fundraiser, I have talked to Reverend Dave and I talked to Lisa Bryant. I am working on getting Jason to sing My Way again with Sal at the end. So Kathleen, get your Niagara Falls out.
Yeah. I'll pack extra tissues.
Yeah, pack extra tissues at the desk.
Oh, no.
Because I said, because you know what, and I don't know if you, I assume everybody saw the video. You're spotlighting accessibility. That's the perfect way to close it out. So I will call Sal tomorrow morning and say, guess what? You're going to be singing again.
Repeat performance.
Encore.
Encore, right.
So that's just what I wanted to bring up. Those of you who were here before and you don't know each other, Steph, you can start. Tell them a little why you're here. You were with us last year.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And under a slightly different title, but Jacob and I met through the theater that I was the artistic director for many years, Dante Hall Theater. And I spoke about the accessibility issues that we experienced with the theater and how to improve them. And since then, since COVID, we have closed down the theater, but I was invited to stay on as an employee of Stockton. So I am now running community programming with Stockton University, but I still maintain my position as one of the executive board members for the Garden State Film Festival, and was since named chair of the ADA and DEI committee within that executive board. And I invited Jacob to actually be one of my advisory committee members with that. And we have been trying to identify ways to expand the accessibility to the festival, which isn't housed in a building. It is a mobile festival in that we put on our screenings up in Asbury Park at multiple venues within the city. And so finding out and making sure that all of those vendors are accessible within themselves and what measures they go to make sure that everyone feels comfortable attending. Everybody has the ability to attend. And so I can talk more about that in a little bit, but that's why I'm here. Oh yeah, and I like Jacob. He's a good guy.
And Dylan?
Hello again. As Jacob mentioned a few minutes ago, I worked at Atlanta County Special Services for mmany years. And that's where I met Jacob. I think that's where we met, or maybe, yeah, that's where we met, right?
Well,
To go,
could,
but
could have been the field. How long have you
Yeah.
been involved there?
right, it could have been Field Dreams, it could have been school, I'm not sure, but so I am pleased and honored to be on the panel this year. I'm probably going to be, I'm definitely going to be focusing on employment issues, employment and accessibility.
Mm.
So more to come, I guess.
Mhm.
Sir,
And I also was at the event on Sunday and it was just so wonderful, but we've already talked about that, so I'll defer to the next person.
no, you keep praising that. You people will be praising that fundraiser for months on
True.
end.
True.
The amount of phone calls, texts I have received, emails I have received over the last 2 days. I haven't gotten a chance to respond to some of them, but the key though is y'all had fun, and we are working on it. Will not, we had a committee meeting this morning. We've decided it will not be where it was Sunday. The venue is too small.
Yeah, it's almost worked out that some people, that not every ticket holder came because it was crowded. I mean, they're in the room. Wasn't all that room.
And I will tell you, coming from an accessibility standpoint, why over here, that building doesn't even have a physical ramp to get me up. They have something in a storage closet they have to pull out. My mom had to lay it on the ground, and I had to line up middle and go up.
Wow.
Wow,
I
that's-
noticed when we came in that it was a step in, but I thought maybe there was a ramp somewhere else, like to the outdoor area or something, but
Yeah, so that's how that goes. Yeah. Thank God they have something, even if it's not the most ideal of situations. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. My name's Kathleen Barron, and I was on the panel last year. I worked at Atlantic County Special Services for many, many years, and had Jacob in my program my second to last year. So I always say I lucked out right at the end. And last year at the panel, we talked about and looked at a work site that we adapted and worked together with occupational therapists, physical therapists, and school staff in order to adapt the office for the position that Jacob held his final, well, before COVID hit, final semester at Special Services. This year, I'd like to look more into how offices are using more smart technology with so much technology out there, how all different kinds of businesses are using smart technology for accessibility, and how that can, make differences. A lot of the things we talked about last year were more physical rearranging and creating different environments, but we're going to look into smart technology and how that can be utilized for accessibility in a career and work setting. I guess more to come. I'm not sure. That's what everybody else. Whether we'll discuss that later this time or at our next meeting. But I was at the event, and just like Jacob said, Niagara Falls is for me over here. But it was an amazing event, and you should be so proud of yourself. It's just putting that together was really fabulous. And my family, a lot of my family members came, and they're still talking about it. Believe me.
Well, I'm serious. This will be the last side note to this. Tommy called. I was trying to connect with him since yesterday to thank him, and he said, "Hey, you want to come down one more time in July?" So I will be going down with Kathleen, the man your aunt got up and sang with. It'll be 4 of us together.
Yes, my
Joey
aunt was actually in the show, for those of you who didn't. Been to 10.
Belinda.
I had to find the unmute button. So I'm Belinda Chester, and I am here, I guess, really in two sort of roles. So first of all, I have two sons who have autism, and so I feel like I'm more here as a mom than anything. But also, I do work for Rutgers Cooperative Extension, and recently, Jacob and I have had a lot of conversation, actually, probably over the past couple of years, right, Jacob, about accessibility of our programs. And I will say that even more recently, I had some discussions about 4-H and how, there aren't really plans for accommodations there for kids who are in 4-H. So I'm here on a few different levels, but yeah, that's just a real quick general. I'd like to, I had talked about a couple of things our last meeting, but I think I would really like to focus on, like you said, programming accessibility and maybe technological accessibility for people, even just beyond physical accessibility.
Okay, thank you. I will fill in the blanks for the men who are not here. David, I've given him and Steph, the two of you will sit between me the night of and help me moderate just like last year. It'll be side to side, but because of the camera situation, we all won't be seated at one long table. Rev is not here. He has a whole seating chart, ways of doing it. We're going to talk about that on Thursday. He and I have how to conduct business there. I have the seating chart in my email. I don't exactly know how to explain it right now by looking at it, but just know the two of you will be between me like last year goes. As you know, my thoughts have not changed. Transportation, I don't mean to gross. It's not that bad of a story, but Sunday when I was en route to Wildwood, a woman, very adamant, was tied down. They had to drop her off before they took me to where I had to go, and she was physically she was physically dirty, which made the bus stink, and it was just not a very pleasant smell on the way down from Middle Township to Wildwood, where we were going. I know the situation is as it is, but I hope New Jersey Transit took something into consideration about that, because no one should have to go through that on a bus. Discussion topics. You told me. As most of you, Steph doesn't know, but then I believe Linda doesn't know either. I don't believe. We do have one of Sal's friends who is blind. He was on American Idol. He's joining us on the panel this year. I'm not looking to, I'm just being brutally honest and brutally real here. I asked Sal for a little insight on what to be expected the night of. Vision changes day to day with him. He has cataracts. Mom will be watching us from our seats, which kind of made me feel like if I've got her watching, I have to be on my best behavior, even though I was last year. Just be careful, guys, because it sounds like it could be a very hit or miss situation and could go quickly. My mom will also be joining the panel. Ann Dillon, my mom, and Fran Newman Fran Newman is an OT. She worked at Atlantic County Special Services for about 25 years. She'll bring you a lot of insight. Now, once again, because of the seating arrangements, they will be seated, and you will be seated with them in the front row. And when it's their time to speak, one of the people between me will pass you the mic. Then it'll almost be like, Linda, think of it this way, how it was done last year where we did Q&A, like that. They'll be passed the mic and they'll be given time to say whatever is on their mind. Wow, this is actually going fast. Barb brought this up to me, I guess a while ago. Sal will be traveling, Friday night, May 19th, he will be in Philadelphia for a concert. I said, instead of going home, why don't you stay the weekend instead of going up and back to New York? So May 20th, he will be with me at the Field of Dreams. We're having a dress rehearsal that night. Rev knows about it. We've had a few discussions on that. The 21st and 22nd, the 22nd is the forum, but the 21st is up in the air at the moment. If anyone would like to do anything, add anything in as a thank you for him coming down. I know Barb and I talked about his expenses. Am I correct, Barb? We talked about that once or twice. I know you brought it up to me in an email. Hold on, you're muted.
You're muted.
Barb, you're muted. Okay. She can't unmute.
Oh,
Can you type me in?
Yeah, the only concern that I have with the money, I don't know where we're going to get it from, because I don't know that the church will.
Yeah, I mean, the church is
Thank you.
already providing the space and several of us volunteering. I don't think the church has money to pay for those kind of expenses right now. Because we have a lot of physical plant issues that we're dealing with that are pretty costly. Do you have any idea what kind of expenses you're talking about?
I just meant like travel, like things like that, Linda, because there'll be, like, for example, instead of me taking Access Link that Saturday, he has a vehicle. He said he would take me to and fro to the field and wherever else, like stuff like that. Like just basic things like toll.
We'll have to see how he feels about it. He may feel comfortable just donating his time and expenses.
All right, that's fine.
He does seem like a very generous person, and
he's
just
extremely generous to come down to drive down 3 hours from Staten Island on Sunday to sing 2 songs, put me on the bus, and leave in a half an hour.
I heard that. That's amazing.
Anne, you look like you have a thought in mind.
I do, but I'm saving it until we get to that point.
Oh, okay, but
Yeah.
you're
Sorry, I'm
always,
trying to keep my face straight until we get to that.
no. I know you're all I know your facial. I know you all so well. I know your facial expressions.
And now you know the inside of one of my bathrooms.
Oh yeah, I do. I got to experience that this morning.
I was cleaning a bathroom when we were talking earlier.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, she was cleaning a bathroom while we were on FaceTime this morning. That was fun. Guy, yeah, I mentioned my mom will be joining us. Yeah, but really though, guys, my biggest concern, because we have nothing, is Christian. We need, my fear is if we go wrong, if mom's watching, if we make a mistake.
But what, I thought she was coming to help her son. I think that's what we talked about the last time, that she was coming to help. She would know how to mark the floor. If we needed to mark the floor up, she was going to be there to guide him. I mean, I remember that discussion somewhere.
Well, Bart, I tried to reach out to her just to do a basic hello, how are you? This is who I am. And she declined me on Facebook. I sent her what do you call those? A messenger. And she declined me there. I have no way of getting.
Jacob, does she actually know your name? Maybe that's why she's declining you. Because
Well, I asked the agent to pay attention, to tell her to look out and look for something from me, whether it's an email, a text. I said some, but I did ask her just for a baseline and haven't gotten anywhere with that.
Well, the last time we met, which was in January, we said that there's lights are needed, glow in the dark stage tape, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. All
We
right.
did talk about that. There is a girl from our church that has kind of worked with that kind of thing. We might be able to have her there to help too. I don't know. But I was under the impression that the mother was coming to be with Christian because he needed somebody with him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And is he going to sing or do anything?
I
don't know
haven't.
that either.
I haven't got. I would like him to do a little something.
But wait a minute, we might have to pay him. No,
Oh God, yeah.
You have to be careful. I mean, Sal, I know Sal came and we asked him to sing and he would just do it. But this kid isn't Sal, you know, so.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have to be careful. And some of what you have to pay isn't cheap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like.
The other thing I would say, have you talked to Sal about it since he has the connection with him?
Yeah, I did, and
Okay.
seems very, and this is why I'm having trouble, because I called him last Wednesday and I'm like, I really want to talk to her like before tonight.
Right.
To see if she could even come to this thing. And he was like, I can't, I don't know if he doesn't know. I've reached out to his now wife to see if, because I saw she follows her on the internet. She had nothing. I mean, I feel like I'm going off of nothing here.
Well, maybe that's all we can do right now. If we can't, there's no contact, no communication. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll keep plugging. Guys, and do you still have that thought? I saw your face in the screen. I just didn't want to forget about it before we.
I just wanted to, since this is my first year on the panel, I just wanted to clarify when I mentioned earlier that I was going to be speaking about employment. What I mean is just employment in a general sense and how accessible employment is for people who have a disability, you know, and where we've come, how far we've come, and what I think are some of the issues of where we need to continue to go. Am I on the right track here? I don't want to be talking about, you know, like when Kathleen mentioned that she was talking about how a particular job was made to be physically accessible to someone. I mean, to you, actually. I'm going to be talking about employment in general. Is that's cool?
Sounds, listen, Ann, we're free reign here.
Okay.
I give them, I say, guys, what do you want? Do what you want. You're on your own. Well,
Okay.
no, you're not on your own, but you do have a little leeway, yeah, if I can get it out, a little leeway with me. Whatever you guys need, if you need help, I would be happy to. I'm always happy to brainstorm with people. Kathleen knows I'm good at brainstorming with people about such issues, but you really, whatever you, I mean, if you want to even, because I know you were at special services for so long, if you even want to go back to like when you first started, because aren't I right? You were an aide when you first.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes I surprise myself and I remember things.
So,
Yeah.
so, okay. So you'd like me to talk a little bit about this program at school too? Is that?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. Because you did, because that was your home for a large chunk of
Yeah.
your time. I mean, you can talk about were you there during, what I'm particularly curious about is, and this may be where I'm most curious. I don't even know if you want to hit this way, but the year after, 2020, 2021, the year after COVID, like you're talking about employment, trying to find the kids jobs within the school building.
Within the school building? Is that what you just said?
Right.
Okay.
They weren't allowed.
I can talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
They weren't allowed to go out
Right.
into the real world, correct?
Correct. The real
And-
world. That's correct. Yeah.
The real world. So I mean, even if you wanted to split it down the middle, and you and Kathleen both take on it, because Kathleen, that was your last year, right?
It was, yes.
Okay.
And and they weren't in the community at all that year, right?
Right.
Right.
And now, from what I've heard, it's only one Andrea is all by herself with job coaches. If you guys, I guess you guys can go off of that.
Okay. I can talk on all of that.
I mean, maybe you could even a little talk about how the work program started with a former board. Well, Bonnie Steiner, she ran that. Wasn't she in charge of that too? Or she was
one of the teachers from way back. Yeah.
Yeah, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could go with it any which way. I'm just trying to give you guys ideas.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
remember, Jacob,
Actually, thank you. Because I wasn't really thinking about talking about school. And so I am going to incorporate that.
I,
Jacob,
I,
remember, we have time limits.
How
know,
much
Name-
time?
Barb, I know, and
Name
no,
it.
but
And I don't want him to give you too much. Nema and Linda are the timekeepers.
And we
Don't
have
put
like
a
8
sign up.
minutes or something?
That's-
depends on how many panelists we end up with, right,
Okay.
Jacob?
That's true. Mhm.
Okay,
Will the format be the same with the Google Slides and then each person will present and
Ye-
use?
yeah, we can do that again, because there's,
so could I submit a couple slides?
of course you can, because
Okay.
what the Rev and I do at the end is I'll give you his email address, because I lose things, I lose stuff like that, like no tomorrow. That's not even funny. I lose stuff easy, so I'll give you his email address and send your stuff to him. We put it all in a nice, neat, thank you, PowerPoint, and it you know, it all fits in. Kathleen, didn't you have a question? And this is more for Barb, I believe. Didn't you ask me about registration a couple weeks ago? Because you had people that wanted to go.
Oh, I was just wondering if there was a document or a flyer about, last year, I think there was a flyer that we put out that let people know about it. I was just curious if in case we could put it and invite people to attend,
Right.
send it out in an
We
email.
There has been no publication anywhere about this event. Nobody made a flyer or anything this
Right.
time. So,
Belinda. I'm so sorry, Jacob. It just hit me, and maybe it's because I didn't have my 2 cups of coffee today, but I've been working with Belinda about something fun over at Stockton, and it just hit me that it's you. I'm so sorry.
yeah,
I feel like I just woke up. I'm like, oh my God, it's Belinda. Okay, I'm good now. Everybody can go back to talking about what they're
No. Oh, that's funny, Steph. That is funny. Can you tell us what you're working on, or is it hush hush a secret?
No, it's an
Oh, no.
idea that we had. I wanted to do something special with the students regarding better eating, better cooking, living in a dorm.
Oh, that was you. I
And-
heard about that idea.
So and Belinda was like a gift from God through the Arts Garage connection, and we met and we toured the facility to see if it was a kitchen that she could work out of, and so yes, so we're trying to put something fun together.
Yes.
Very nice. Steph, this will make you-
Jacob and I have talked about it at some point. Just I was so excited about it. I wanted to tell somebody else about it.
Right on.
Yeah, you did talk to me about it. Steph, this will make you happy for GSFFs in the future. Access Link, you have a rideshare program now with Uber and Lyft. And if you can't get anywhere, they can't tell you no anymore. Then Uber and Lyft picks up the slack.
Yeah, we were finding out about that. I think that's fabulous. And that's going to always be our biggest challenge, is trying to find better ways of transporting people to the festival that can't otherwise get there. And I don't want to, I know I jumped in during a pause, but I don't want to shift the gears if you're not ready for that. But if you are, basically what I would like to speak about during your panel discussion is beyond even the transportation issue, is just making sure that the festival itself is enjoyable, is accessible and enjoyable to everyone equally. And that's where that whole diversion and equity and inclusion come in, because not everybody can enjoy the festival in the same way. And a lot of the things that, I'm finding and what we're trying to work towards is stepping out of that comfort zone that people without disabilities tend to fall into, where we think we know exactly what we need to do to make ourselves accessible. And sometimes those are methods that have been in play for 20 years without any advancement, without any effort to update ourselves, without asking those questions, believing that what we're doing is enough and not really testing the water to see if that's accurate. And so we've made it a priority this year. And Jacob, you know this because you've been in on the conversations as we talk about developing some key performance indicators to try to measure our audience and get a feel for how they feel. We could sit back and say, well, we do this, this, and this. And we report to the state and we tell the state that we're doing those 5 things. But are we asking our attendees if those 5 things are still all we need to do? What aren't we doing? And while we're asking those attendees, maybe doing a look around and seeing who's not attending and why aren't they there? And could it be because they don't feel comfortable or they don't feel that they have the ease of access? We try to open ourselves up in different ways. We have theater for the blind. We make sure that our films are closed captioned. We try to have Braille assistance wherever possible. We try to make our venues have to have priority wheelchair and motorized capability seating a priority, walkers a priority. And then we also try to make those tickets free along with whatever companion those individuals might need to make their trip easier. So we try to make their companion's ticket free as well. But that can't be all. And so that's what we're trying to develop right now within the festival itself is trying to gather some data as much as we can, because not everybody wants to fill out a survey. It's hard. And that in and of itself can sometimes be a challenge. And we're trying to make sure that our website meets all current codes to change formatting and HTML formatting wherever necessary, so that people with different access can navigate our website equally. And so we're trying to make some differences and finding out from the people who are living with these disabilities to answer those questions and tell us what we need, where we're failing, what we need, what we're doing right, and what we can improve upon and how to change those things, or just telling us what the issues are and we'll figure out how to change those things, but making it a priority. So that's what I'd like to speak about, if that's all right, Jacob.
Oh, that's Steph, like I said to Anne, you're free reign to do whatever you feel is right. I do have a question into what you were talking about.
Sure.
Do you allow service dogs in the facilities?
Oh, no, that's ridiculous. No, of course we do. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because it just needs to be done. Because as you all, about 3/4 of you probably watched and/or attended the event. As Donald Campbell told you last year, if you don't have a disability now, you're more than likely to have one as you progress through life, putting it nicely. And, you know, if these topics aren't discussed, nobody thinks to think, yeah, no, why am I having trouble talking tonight? Nobody thinks to think these things through. One of the topics I have thought about discussing as a side to transportation, it's not going to be a huge topic, but I have to start thinking about it as my parents get older. Having someone else care for me besides a family member, if I'm very lucky that, say, Barb or Mama or Linda could watch over me while I'm at the field. Sometimes that may never be the case. Well, not never, not be the case. I have to start thinking about these things. I think in addition to transportation, I would like to discuss that.
That's a very important
Mhm.
conversation.
And I said it, and I wrote it via text to the Rev, retracing my steps, just in general, because, you know, one may, as I said in one of our meetings last year, not everybody is verbal. What if someone was left alone for a while? That's a serious issue. And then you know, you read stories online, kids with autism left on school buses after the driver leaves at the end of the day. There is something very, very wrong with that picture. Shouldn't the driver be responsible for checking to make sure they don't have any kids on the bus at the end of the day? I think so. Guys, we will have one, while you're all together. I know no Mondays because of Bible study, no Wednesdays because of choir, no Fridays because Barb, Linda, and myself are at the field. So we need to have one final meeting I would like to see you all there, my mother included. She's gonna like to hear that from me. When works for you all? Because the forum is the 22nd, and I think we need to have a final dress rehearsal before the actual dress rehearsal.
Tuesdays work for me. I know I was a little bit late tonight, but the first and the third Tuesdays of the month, I don't have my other meeting before this. So
Yeah.
Tuesdays work for me, Thursdays work for me.
So
I'm
what
gonna say the 16th is a good day for me because it's after Stockton's commencement. And that's got me a little busy right now.
all right,
It's
Steph.
16.
Hold on, I'm looking at my
Tuesdays
calendar.
work for me, but Wednesdays and Thursdays don't work for me until like mid-June. So
So Belinda, say that again. I was checking my calendar at the same time.
Tuesdays actually work really good for me, but Wednesdays and Thursdays are out for me. Particularly Thursdays, because I
So
moderate a class on Thursdays.
So maybe we should stick to Tuesday.
Mhm.
Kathy,
Tuesday.
Works for me.
That's
Kath-
work for me
Kathleen,
too.
Mhm.
And Linda and I will not make the Tuesday meeting because we will have a meeting probably all
Yeah,
our
there's a
church
finance committee meeting
Yeah.
on the 16th and there's a
But
council
you don't-
meeting on the,
We don't need to be there. You need to work with the panelists, I think.
panel.
yeah,
more than-
yeah, I would
than-
say have a
I-
meeting of panelists. And
That's
then
what-
just,
We're just fluff that is there. at
we're,
the
Right.
we're
church.
support staff
Lin-
right
Linda
now.
and Barb have to work on their motions, right? Their cut it.
Yes.
motions.
We have to
Okay.
No, no,
get
that's
better
name and
signs
Linda.
this year
Oh,
that say,
okay,
be quiet.
Yeah, Ann and Belinda, they get vicious, so watch out.
You just
Yeah,
have to
well-
give us a list of
All right.
panelists so we can figure out how many. And then we'll
Right.
figure out, we'll have to let them know how many minutes they can
Yes, they
speak.
have. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, well, thanks for the
We
heads
were
up on
pretty
that.
flexible, right, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Reverend Dave won't be at that meeting either because he'll be with us.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you're on your
oh,
own, Jacob. Yay, guess what? If you ran this meeting just fine. You didn't
You
need help.
did.
did.
Yes, you didn't need
You
any
can
help.
do it.
yeah, yeah. You girls got me whenever you want a meeting.
Okay, Jacob.
So-
Tuesdays work well for me, Jacob.
All right, so Tuesdays it is. Let's see what. Let's look at my calendar to make sure that I have no surprises anywhere.
Tuesday should be okay for me too, Jacob.
All right. Okay, Frida. I'm looking at Monday, thinking that'll work. No, it won't. So choices are the ninth. Nah, I'm telling you, I should just stop talking. The 9th or the 16th.
Well, Belinda, you wanted after the 16th, didn't you? Of course, that's coming up to the date of the forum.
Oh, no, Tuesday anytime is fine for me.
Oh, okay.
Steph, you said after the 16th. Did I hear that?
I'm good on the 16th, but prior to that, I'm not. available.
Got it. So let's just do Tuesday the 16th at 7. We'll go over. By then I will have met with the Rev. He will have given me full instructions on what to tell you guys on for rehearsal, the forum, and so forth. Any fine, never mind. I'll talk to him about that when we meet on Thursday. Any final thoughts?
I think sometime prior to the next meeting, you should decide what kind of advertising or publicity you want to put out so that people will know to come.
Right, come,
We need an
Uh,
audience.
yes,
Uh,
definitely.
And that's what hold on, don't go anywhere yet. I just had an idea. There was a woman, Steph, you may know her from your circles. I don't know if you do or not. Lisa Johnson, she worked at 40. She has her own.
Oh, I know who Lisa Johnson is, yes.
Lisa Johnson. She wrote me one of the most beautiful publications I had ever read for the fundraiser. I am going to be I'll probably call her tomorrow. I will call her tomorrow and say, could you please write me publication? Well, I'm not as closely friendly with her. I'll say, Dave and Sal are on the panel. Can you write us a publication? Because she's not as friendly with me as she is with the two of them. So I know if I say they're there, I know all.
If you have what happened last year, that would be a good starting point. For
Yes.
whoever's going to develop
That'd
it,
be a good
and then
idea.
just update the information.
Barb, would you mind doing?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, just send it to
Jacob,
me.
I can set you up a Facebook event again, like we did for your fundraiser as well.
That would be marvelous.
Then I can share that.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, I like this. I like this. The creative juices are
I'm pretty
flowing.
sure the Field of Dreams page would share it for you.
Yeah, they probably, well, that,
Faces and 21 Down probably would too.
Yeah.
all right, that would be, yeah, well, Field of Dreams is, well, Linda, you know, Field of Dreams falls under my umbrella, so I'll just put it there anyway and see what happens. We used to have a group which was very well attended, but Fran shut it down. I wonder if I could get her to open it for a week. We'll see how that goes. I'll talk to her. I'll talk to Lisa. Steph, since you're in the media circles, can you recommend? I mean, I know Lisa, but can you recommend anybody? I mean,
Let me rack my brain. I mean, I can talk, I've got connections with like different people who have their own personal, a bunch of entertainment reporters. I don't know how many of them, and
Well-
that's to their detriment, but I don't know how many of them support local community level events like this. But I definitely, I mean, you don't know until you ask. So I don't mind putting the word out there and just letting them know that we would like to have some light shed on this.
thank you.
You'll probably get Whitney Ullman to post it as well.
Well, that's
which
like
is-
who I'm talking about. So there's
Yeah, that would
Whitney,
get a
and
lot
then
of
there's
It's
Mike
not like a
Lopez,
direct,
and
but
it's Michelle Dawn
yeah.
Mooney, and
Mhm. Right.
so
Oh,
they're all
oh,
friends of mine.
And you said Lopez, and he just did a plug for me for Sunday, so that would be perfect.
He's a good guy with stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just funny because I don't know these people. That
even if he does like a mention on his radio show,
all right.
but
Oh, that's right. But that's funny. I was just on there on Friday. I should have remembered that.
Did you have a large audience last year?
Yes.
It was a good
It
audience
was a
last
pretty
year.
good-
I
it was
thought.
considered that a
pretty good size.
decent crowd.
I mean, for the first time, it was over. Did over 70 people or 65 or something?
I think
like that.
so.
Wow.
For the
Yeah.
first, I mean, for the first
Mm-hmm.
time.
Great.
They're trying it.
I think 70 and 20, 21 was from what I remember. But yeah, we had a good crowd. Steph, is it true before I do all this that AC Weekly and the other one, are they truly kaput, or is that?
Yes.
Oh,
The
that
company
is-
that bought the press closed down At the Shore and AC Weekly.
So that is true. That's not a rumor. I like to make sure I have all my facts straight before I go on ambitious missions like this.
It's sad but true.
So, okay, so that is true. So I'll reach out. Belinda, oh my God, Heart of Surfing. Does that lady still operate Sure Local?
Yes, she does. And then also, Nanette Lobiondo could get us something in Down Beach.
Isn't that the current, or are they separate anymore?
No, they're separate now. I mean, I think at one time they were the same, but they're not anymore. Now it's a separate publication.
The current doesn't even exist.
Yeah, because the currents don't really exist anymore.
Mhm.
I mean, sort of. They're online, but not like they did.
Oh, all right. Yeah, guys, just continue to throw stuff at me. I'll take anything you send me. You all know how to reach out to me. If got any ideas, anything you want at all, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help. Well, I'd be happy to be the receiving end of it. It's just, all of my contacts from the press, what this is gonna sound stupid, but because it's coming from my area, but what about radio? Is that something deemed appropriate to be advertised? I mean,
You're talking about something like local radio. A lot of local radio is the community that's listening anyway. And, you know, no, first of all, no promotion is bad promotion. So, I mean, if we can get the word out there, all it takes is a couple of people that hear it that are interested. But definitely, you know, the church bulletins as well, and quite possibly even, I don't know how many different churches in the area that it's Absecon Methodist, correct?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Are there other Methodist churches in the area that work in conjunction with Absecon Methodist? Like, could that bulletin be forwarded to other local Methodist churches?
Sure.
City.
I know that when we promoted stuff over at St. Mike's for the theater, even, we would go through the entire chain of Catholic and Episcopal churches in the
Mhm.
area.
and that's a big list. I know that for a
Mhm.
fact. So yeah, I mean, just getting word spread, but I don't want it to be how Sunday was, where people were calling me Saturday night, can I come, can I come, can I come?
Wow.
I'm sorry, tickets are all sold out.
Mm.
The difference is we can fit more people in the church for a sitting down event, and it's not going to be a meal. You know, there may be
Mhm.
snacks. There will be snacks, I'm sure, but
Yeah, you don't have to worry.
we're not going to be providing a meal.
Mhm.
Right.
So we can fit a couple hundred
That's a
people
good
if we have
size.
to.
Let me just teach you something.
Okay.
Because in the theater world, the best thing that could ever happen is that you have to tell somebody it's sold out and you can't come.
Yeah.
That's the best problem ever to have.
Then you say next time.
That's right.
Call early.
Exactly.
Mhm.
We're so sorry, but we're going to be doing this again. So stay in touch with us.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I told people. Okay, guys, I just more or less wanted your thoughts and opinions on that specific area. I think Facebook is a great the event thing that Belinda was talking about is great. I'll forward Belinda. I will either text and or email you a copy of the flyer and we'll go from there.
I'm going to say goodnight, everybody. I have to run, but thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes.
See you, Steph.
Bye. Thank you.
Welcome. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.